10 worst shark attacks ever recorded. Are you a thalassophile? Well, if your answer is yes, you aren't probably a shark fan. Sharks are not man's best friend. We can't even call them man's friend either. Almost every year, around 60 shark attacks are reported worldwide, although death is quite unusual. Despite the relative rarity of shark attacks, the fear of sharks is a common phenomenon. Well, there is something that wise people stay away from sharks, even though experts claim that sharks don't consider humans as prey. Hey guys, and welcome back to yet another gripping episode of Stay Wise. We have seen many of the worst shark attacks in horror fiction and films like the Jaws series. And this is the time to know about the world's 10 worst shark attacks, so stay tuned. But don't forget to destroy that subscribe button and notification icon so you can see our new videos as soon as they're uploaded. Number 10. Snatch from the jaws of death. Most mothers are exceptionally attached to their children. They try to be there for the child always and fight for them no matter how dangerous the situation. This Florida fearless and courageous mother was the same. Valerie Levy and Sydney, 15, were having fun off the coast of New Sima Beach in Florida. Sydney had just paddled out to sea on their boards when Sydney suddenly flipped off her board and disappeared with the waves. The young girl was pulled underwater, and the mother quickly recognized that a shark was attacking her. While they thought it was over, it happened again. The marine life pulled the girl again and tried to drag her away. Valet was stubborn. There was no way she was letting that happen to Sydney. She managed to pull her daughter back from the deadly shark's grip, but the sea creature continued circling the mother-daughter duo. Fortunately, they were seen by other surfers. Hearing their howls for help, 2 surfers managed to paddle to them and help them get to the shore. Hat tip to the quick thinking of the mother. Number 9. The Banker Shark. In 2001, Krishna Thompson, the Wall Street banker, lost his leg after a long swedge with a bull shark in the Bahamas. Along with his wife, Thompson rejoiced on their 10th wedding anniversary when Thompson set out alone on an early morning swim. The shark dragged him underwater and ripped away most of his leg. Breathless and bleeding profusely, Thompson managed to make his way to shore, where other surfers helped him. He was immediately transferred to the hospital. It was a near-death case, and doctors had no way but to hack off his leg. After a long struggle, Thompson walks with the help of a prosthesis, manages to swim, and occasionally works out at the gym and plays basketball. Number 8. Honeymoon Tragedy. It would be even a brute catastrophe even to imagine your husband getting killed by a cursed sea creature in front of you after just 10 days of marriage. Well, this misfortune dream has become a reality for Emma Redmond. Emma Redmond, who is just 27, was sunbasking when she heard her husband's howls for survival. Passerby witnessed how Emma went into a state of shock and rebuttal as he was brought to the shore with terrible injuries. Well, anyone in place of Emma would be. He was snorkeling about 20 yards away from the shore. 2 men nearby rescued him, but the shark had bitten off an arm and imposed serious injuries on his legs, chest, and stomach. On holiday, a French doctor tried to keep Mr. Redmond alive until he was airlifted to hospital, but he had lost too much blood to be saved by that time. Number 7. Shirley Ann Durden. Anyone would collapse or black out after watching a headless torso floating in the water. Shirley Ann Durden was snorkeling in Peak Bay when she was brutally attacked in just 7 feet of water. Durden was attacked by a 20-feet-long great white shark. The sea creature tore the 33-year-old in half in its first strike as her husband and 4 children could only watch in shock from the shore. All right, that has just broken my heart in pieces. That's a bad rap considering that Australia has as many shark attacks as Florida. Surely this story is a fatal one that tells us just how threatening these animals that roam beneath the sea can be. Number 6. Terrence Manuel. If you don't crave to get destroyed by a great white shark, folks, look here. Don't die for abalone, okay? Manuel was coming back to the surface when suddenly a 15-foot great white shark appeared upon him at about 25 miles per hour and struck him with a heavy force that lifted him to the surface and all the way out of the water. As he sought to climb into a boat driven by his friend John Talbot, a 10-foot white pointer hacked off Terrence Manuel's right leg. Manuel's diving partner saw what happened and began pulling Manuel over by his air hose on the boat. It was 30 feet of water when the 26-year-old exploded through the exterior and yelled, "Shark!" Sadly, His friend could not prevent the attack and was instead forced to watch as Manuel bled to death in the water. Number 5. Peter Clarkson. Red-blooded boat, no connection with emergency services, no exact location, and no confirmatory evidence. Doesn't that scare you? Clarkson had spent 14,000 hours underwater in 30 years, and never, in hundreds of dives, did he surface facing the wrong way. These are something that is beyond our imagination. Mr. Clarkson, an abalone diver from Esperance, was taken by sharks south of Perforated Island near Coffin Bay in South Australia. Police say the diver was returning to the surface when 2 sharks, believed to be great whites, attacked him. The last thing Rod saw of his mate was blood, sprayed out of Clarkson's mouth by the impact. His body could never be recovered. Number 4. Wrestling with a shark. Well, you have heard of the stories about wrestling a lion or tiger, but here it is, a shark. Will you ever imagine punching a shark to survive? Well, Joshua Hawley has done that so as not to die. He had to fight with a 10-foot tiger shark. The 28-year-old surfer said he felt something brush against him and then latch onto his foot. Hawley understood that panicking would give him nothing much. He kicked in. He punched the shark squarely in the nose, shouting at it that he is not going to die. Although he required 42 stitches and needed a couple of surgeries to repair 2 torn tendons, Mr. Hawley says he harbors no ill will towards the shark that struck him down. Number 3. Sharks find tuba players especially tasty. Barry Wilson was paddling near Lover's Point off the California coast in 1952. As witnesses state, the 17-year-old was seen to jerk suddenly from side to side. The young tuba player then howled for help before witnesses saw a shark coming out of the water to stab him from the front and pull him under. In a pool of blood, Wilson resurfaced seconds later, screaming and flailing his arms. 5 swimmers hardly fought for 30 minutes to pull him back to the beach through the rough surf, but sadly, he bled to death before they reached the shore. Well, deaths are always shocking. Number 2. The tragic but inspiring story of Bethany Hamilton. One of the world's famous surfers might be Bethany Hamilton, less for her performance on a board than for the motivating story of her reversion to the sport after losing an arm in a shark attack. At age 13 in 2003, Hamilton was a top young amateur when attacked by a 14-foot tiger shark in Kauai, Hawaii. She was lying on her surfboard with her arm dangling in the water. Her friend's father used some cloth and a urethane surfboard leash to stop the bleeding, which had rescued her life from death. She lost a major percent of her blood in the attack and also lost her left arm to the shoulder, but she was back to surfing within a month. Well, that was a hair-raising tale. Number 1. Shark attack that shook the 1700s. Brooke Watson, a teenager, nearly around 14 years old, who was a British merchant sailor, was the first recorded shark attack victim. While he was thrashing in the Havana harbor when a shark attacked him, the shark circled back to finish him off when Watson's crewmates jumped in and saved him. The sailors paddled out to the spot hoping Watson would break the surface, but unfortunately, he didn't. It took 2 minutes for them to spot his body, which was 100 yards away, and they rushed towards him, but the shark retook him before they arrived. Watson lost his leg due to the attack, but went on to serve as a member of Parliament and Lord Mayor of London. But in this case, even more exciting is the portrait. This super dramatic portrait of the attack was the YouTube hit of its time.